Hello, everyone. This is Marcy Miller, and I want to take you through the University Field Supervisor site, resource site. We have a new look to it, but a lot of the same information. I just wanted to take you through it to make sure that you understood how to use the site. If what I would do is while I go through each one of these links to explain all of this information to you, I would go up and go to this bit link and open the site and go through the site as I explain different parts of the site to you. So what you can do is you would go up here and you would just open a tab and you would put in the bit.ly backslash UFS 101, and then that way it will open for you and it will open this site for you so that you can go to that. The other thing I would mention is I would be using Google Chrome if you're going to go through and use this site. This is a Google Chrome site, but it works best with Google Chrome. It'll work with anything, but if you have Google Chrome and you're logged in, you're going to have your profile here and you're going to be able to see that. Whenever you see that, you have this ellipsis over here that has a bookmark and it will say show bookmark bar. And that allows you, if you click that, that will allow you to have this bookmark bar that you see up here. And what it allows you to do is be able to put folders or pull a link right down. So I suggest saving this so you can bring it, put it right here, and boom, that's a quick link for you on your bookmark bar so you can always get back to the site. Or you can do like I did and you can right click, you can add a folder, name the folder, and then you have a folder that is here and it has all of your links, everything in it, and you have it organized. So that's a way that you can hold this site and use this site, because this is going to be a resource site for you all the way through your clinical teaching experience, being a university field supervisor while you're with clinical teachers. So we're going to go through, I've made buttons, and it should look really good for you on a phone as well. That's why I went in and changed these to kind of quick link buttons. And so if you go through here, you have my information. You always feel free to contact me. I am the clinical teacher coordinator. So best way to probably reach me is my cell phone. You can call my office and they'll send it to my cell phone. You can also email me. Those are going to be the best ways to communicate and contact with me. If you click on that bit link right up there or the MSU Texas, it's going to take you back to this button page, and in order for you to be able to navigate all of the resources. So if you go in there, I've made a quick link for your UFS forms that need to be given to Susie McDowell. You can email those to her. And if you go through here and you look, it's just you're going to be able to click, they're going to open up for you, and then you're going to be able to fill that out. And if you need to, you would go over here to file is what I would do, and download as a PDF. And then once you're done filling that out, you'll download it as a PDF and you can send that in to Susie. You'll also need to fill out the code of ethics agreement. And so that you're going to have to probably print out and then sign, and then you're going to want to scan that back in, upload, or bring it to the college and give it to Susie as well. We also need a copy of your certificate, your service records, TA. If you've already been a university field supervisor with us and you filled this out, I'm pretty sure that the only thing that we'll have to have from you is that qualification form. I think that is all you'll have to have, but if we need more, then someone else will contact you. Okay. Going right over here. And how I've set this up is basically to just go down and down and then over. And so required training modules, we do have some different training inside of here. So you're going to want to click through your training modules, and you're going to go over, this will be this video that we're making. Then you're going to have some resources here. And if you click this opens up for you and it has all the training materials there. And so I wanted you to be able to see that that is something that everything in here is linked, and you're able to open those. And then you'll click through the training modules. Make sure that you go through, this is great, supervisor training on how to log TK20. It's just a good, these are great little videos just to open up and show you exactly how to go in and do your time logs and do your observation time logs. So you want to look at those and make sure that you go through those videos. And then we have virtual observation instructions. That is something that we added last semester. And so you want to go through that and make sure that you look at it. We have made everything, we're going to use YouTube as our virtual observation platform. And so your students, I will go through this with your clinical teachers at orientation, but they are, they'll do private or unlisted YouTubes, and they'll send you the link in order to observe them. If you choose to, you can also set up a Google Drive folder if you want them to dump them in there. So, and this is a video on how to do that. So those are choices that you have as a virtual observation. And then this is a sheet that can help you. This is before the clinical teacher starts the digital observations. Make sure you've read this instruction sheet. This just kind of helps you and your student know exactly what is going to happen. So this, I've just lined that out for you. I've also given them instructions on how to make their YouTube private. And this is another instructional video that I've made. So once you get in there and you show them this, that might be something that you share with them. So I want you to be able to see that. And that's why this module was so important for you to go through. You can click here to continue with your training. It's going to take you to the observation forms, which this video, make sure you watch it. It's going to tell you exactly how full and what the observation forms need to look like before we turn them in. This would be a TEA expectation that these are full. And if they're not full, we get counted off on. So make sure that you go through that. And then at the end of your training, there's a button that's going to bring you here. It's going to do a certificate of completion. And I hold on to that for you so that we have that training documented. So make sure that you have that and that you go through all of that training. We're going to go ahead and come back down here. This is a checklist that we'll go over together in our UFS meeting. But everything in here is a checklist. If you click right here, this is going to open up this checklist for you. And what I've done is make a hyperdoc of just everything that you need to know. Every expectation. It has placement dates in it for this semester. Before you start clinical teaching, what you need to do. It has every requirement in here. It tells you about logging, contact logs, observation forms, what you need to do, how long they have to be. So it just explains absolutely everything to you. So you're going to want to make sure you go through that, print it off, keep it for yourself. Make sure that you have contact with that, because that is going to have valuable information on there for you to be able to learn all about our program and go through that. Virtual observation information, I just went through that with you, but I also put a quick link on here in case you miss anything in that training. Then it's all there for you as a quick link for you to go through. This is also a quick link to placement dates so that you'll understand what the placement dates are. This is also the calendar of meeting events. This is what will take place this year. And this tells you like when the end of placement 1 is, when placement 2 starts. And so this is just a really important piece of information as well. So I wanted you to have all of that in a quick link. Digital observation forms. I know a lot of people do digital observation forms instead of using the triplicate forms, which is fantastic with us. All of these are here for you to use. And so there is a drop down one that you can open up and you can use so that when you're doing your observation, you can go in and put this, and this has already different, forms inside of it that are drop down menus and pre-menued loaded. And then You also have a Microsoft Word form. So if you wanted to use that, you would either download it or open with, and you can open it with Google Docs and write inside there and do whatever you need. If you do download it, it'll probably open up as a Microsoft Word. Then it looks like we have some kind of drawing template for signatures. And so you can go in and you can put a signature in here and then save it as a PGN and have a signature if you would like that and you need to put signatures on all of your digital forms. So you would go in, you would click the squiggle line right here, and this would allow you to go in and make, it's not going to look right there, but you'll go in and be able to make this into a PGN the way that you need it to be. So that will allow you to help you make a digital signature, because you're going to need that if you don't have one already. Okay, let's keep going. So placement wrap up evaluation. This took place of the midterm evaluation. And so you're going to want to read over this. This is also a digital wrap up placement. So you're going to only use this in placement 1. It's going to have to happen after 7 weeks of placement. So before that first placement is done, about a week before it's done, you're going to go over this. And this just basically outlines the weaknesses and strengths of the clinical teacher and what they should be working on in their next 7 weeks or their next placement. And so you could go in here. Please feel free. You're going to open with Google Sheets, and this will allow you to open it. And then this also has preloaded down things. And so I wouldn't say fill out every piece of this. I would maybe fill out a couple of these, whatever they're needing to work on, but then I would tell them their strengths and weaknesses inside of here. And you have that ability to type inside of here and get what you need. And then you can sign this digitally, or you can just type your name in. And then you're going to send that to the clinical teacher. And you're going to send that to be uploaded. It's going to go in their TK20 binder. But you also can set up a meeting. Like if you have a student struggling, you're going to want to set up a meeting with them. You're going to want to set up the meeting with the cooperating teacher and come in and talk about what are some of these strengths and weaknesses. If your student teacher is amazing and they're doing amazing, you can maybe just pick out a few of these that you know that they should work on and move on. It doesn't have to be a complete meeting and with the cooperating teacher. So just make your judgment there and know that you can change that form up however you want. This right here is a video over what I'm explaining, and it also tells you how to use this form. So it goes into detail of how to use this form. So just know that training is there for you. But that placement form is super important, and it is part of our documentation for TK20. Missile training and resources. I send this out. This is something to help you understand, because you're in charge. If you are a grader for the missile, not everybody will be. Most faculty are, and everyone that's faculty will be grading the missile. So this right here takes you through, it's a module on how to do missile. And so this is a training that I give the students so that you understand exactly what's expected of them on the missile. And so you want to watch that video, and then you also want to watch this video that's going to show you exactly what this is all about, and it talks to you about it. And then you're going to be able to see this last video that shows you grading and looking at it and how to grade the missile in TK20. So you would want to click this certificate for completion, fill that out, let me know that you did that. And that way, only missile graders will get that and use that. But I wanted everyone to have that information on here, because sometimes we have to use outside university field supervisors to do missile training, and I wanted you to have that information. It's a great module to go through. Just to know what's expected of them. It's also, if you're a university field supervisor and your clinical teacher is like, I have no idea what to do, this is great training for them, even though they have training on their own resource site. But it's good training so that you have good information. TK20 information and link. This is just a link to TK20. If you don't know your password to TK20, you're going to email Susie McDowell, and she's going to help get you everything that you need for TK20. And if not, she'll find it and she'll tell someone. This kind of tells you what you're responsible for in TK20 and who you can talk to if you need help. This is kind of tells you what the clinical teacher is responsible for in TK20, just for your information, and just what everything is that's in there, and what's expected of them, and some different items that your clinical teacher is responsible for. This is just what you're responsible for in TK20. If you click right here, this is going to take you out to TK20 and allow you to come to the login that you'll need to get to our learning management system, TK20, to be able to document everything that you need to. Let's go through. This is just a resources help. This is just a clinical teaching handbook in case you had any questions. You can click right here. This handbook has been designed and linked so that you can get to different parts if you wanted to. And you can go in and, go to different parts of the handbook if you needed to know exactly where you're going. And if you had a question for a clinical teacher, I just always like to have that information in there. Then these are just extra forms and resources. So if you come in here and look, at the end you do a mastery level of disposition, but it's all in TK20. This is all in TK20. So you don't have to worry about it. And I show you at the end what to do, but these are all just extra in case you needed them, or a lesson plan and template reflection in case your student said, I don't know where that is. Then you would just have some extra resources in here to be able to find and give to your clinical teacher. I put a link on here on what a first meeting should look like between you and a cooperating teacher. Don't forget that these are partners with MSU, so it's super important how we go out and represent MSU. So you want to make sure. I've gone in here and said, hey, I'd make a binder. That's what I do. I've made a binder. If you're digital, go be digital. Make it digital however you want. But I suggested things that you should have in there. You should always give like a meeting agenda for that first meeting, because the first meeting is so important. Don't skip over that part. You need to have a first contact with every one of your cooperating teachers for your clinical teachers, and make sure that you're logging those. Actually, we have a first contact log that you put in TK20. And so you want to make sure that this is just a meeting. So everything in here is lined out for you, and you can change it. Make sure that you can click file, edit, make a copy, and this will make a copy for you. And then you can edit that any way that you want, have all your information in there. Know that the cooperating teachers have their own site. So that's a link to that there's a suggested teaching schedule. You definitely want to give them that. That's kind of a breakdown of what they do for each week. So if they're in a 7-week placement, this is kind of a teaching schedule of what the student should be doing at each week. And so this is so important for them to have. And then this also is a checkoff list for you. This is a cooperating teaching welcome letter that I send out. And so you just want to know all of that information before you go make that first contact. You definitely want to come back through here and go through that, how a first meeting should look. And then Flipgrid and introductions. If you haven't, we've already done this. This is just information of Flipgrid. I make sure that every student has this and they get to meet you. And if you were able to meet them in person at the orientation, then I go through and hang these up, and they can scan and kind of meet you and learn about you as a university field supervisor. So that information's in there in case you need it, or you need to go in and make a video. And then I've just done quick links for you over here, like a quick link to the calendar. And this is just going to open up really quick for you in case you didn't want to go back through anything to try to find it over here. A quick link to the checklist. So this is going to open up immediately for you. That checklist that you need. And then the cooperating teacher checklist, they have a checklist as well that I've made And this is something that for sure your cooperating teachers will get. I will send this to them, but you also want to just make sure that they have it. This is something I go over with the clinical teachers in orientation as well, but there's a quick link to it in case you needed it. And then a quick link to that suggested schedule, teaching schedule that is for your clinical teachers. So just make sure that you take your time to go through this resource site. It is going to be just a wealth of knowledge for you. And I really feel like this will make your experience as a university field supervisor much more understandable and much more enjoyable. Remember my contacts right here. If you need to contact me for any reason, then you can for sure do that. And I hope that you have the best clinical teaching experience and supervising experience this semester. Thank you.